you are daft enough to think that Joe Rogan is a microcult, you live in 1995.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. It was a question that gripped the world. Who killed Tupac Shakur? The 25-year-old rapper, considered one of the most influential artists of all time, was gunned down in Las Vegas in 1996. Well, on Friday, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was indicted on one count of murder with a deadly weapon in relation to the killing. DJ Vlad, a major commentator in the hip-hop industry for years, admitted that police in Las Vegas asked him to help their investigation after he interviewed Keefe D for his own show. And DJ Vlad
and you
joins
said
me
Tupac
now.
Pulled out a gun.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually see a gun?
No, shit. Once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side, I would popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
Well, DJ Vlad joins me now. DJ Vlad, thank you very much indeed for joining the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I know you've studied this case for so long, and these interviews that you did with Keefe D, they've turned out to be extremely significant in this investigation, leading, in fact, to him being arrested and indicted. When you heard that news, how did you feel?
Well, I mean, the goal wasn't really to get anyone arrested. It was really just to get the truth of the matter. The story about Orlando Anderson killing Tupac, I've known since around 2007. So this was essentially the worst kept secret in LA. Everyone knew about it, but there were no arrests, there was no convictions, there was no anything, there was no actual proofs. There was a lot of conspiracy theories around it. So around 2008, when I first heard the Keefe confession tapes that Greg Kading got, then I found out there was a book that was about to come out. I got a hold of Keefe D and his co-writer, and we scheduled an interview, and we just went from there.
But I think now in United, I don't know, there's some kind of, how do you say, demonstrations about the owners to sell it and that. But just a reminder, the owners are investing. It's not like they're not investing because they brought in many players for high amount of money. So I think it's a little bit wrong saying that they're not doing what the fans expect them to do.
It's very, very difficult to get divorced considering what my dad talks about. It made me stay in a relationship longer than I should have. I don't agree with the more conservative story of divorce that people are being told. I think being in a relationship that's not good for you, I think you should get out of that relationship.
Interesting that. Let me ask you, Jordan, when you heard her say that, did you feel any responsibility that she may have stayed in a very unhappy marriage for too long because she didn't want to upset you because of your views?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'm able to let my children handle the complexity of their own private lives, knowing at least, I think as I do, that that's a place where only fools would go.
What is the best and worst thing about being Jordan Peterson?
The worst? I'm a bit much.
And the best?
You might say. So,
what's the best thing?
I'm sort of running in all directions very rapidly, and so that can be a bit much. It's hard on people around me. I'm a bit much, man.
And what's the best thing about you?
The best thing about being me?
Yeah.
It's overwhelming, really. Well, the deep appreciation that people have for what I've been doing. It's stunning. It's soul-destroying, but it's amazing.
Is it not soul-enhancing? I mean, I feel it when I do interviews with you, the reaction I get from people, just how much you mean to them. I mean, I can imagine it.
Yeah, well, that's a bit much, you know. I mean, look, when I go, wherever I go, it's so strange, because wherever I go, it's like I have friends there, because I walk down the street and people wave at me and, they call out my name, and it's a bit much.
It's amazing.
It's really something, but
it's amazing.
But it's hard to It is. It's hard to wrap my head around it. It's very hard to wrap my head around it. And especially because it happened to me, you know, when I was, well, when I was older than 50. It's been quite an adjustment. I wouldn't say it's one I've made. And it's an immense responsibility. And I'm not complaining about that at all. I'd be a fool to complain, an ungrateful fool. But it's, you know, it's a strange thing to have far more than you could ever imagine.
What do you mean?
Well, that's my life. I have far more than I could ever imagine. I didn't think it was possible.
I mean, you've become somebody who, in the later stage of your life...
Now you did it again. You got me again. God damn it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, you are an emotional person. I know that. But I think it's also interesting to me what makes you emotional. And in a way, it's similar to why you were emotional last time I talked to you, is that you are very acutely aware of the influence you now have over so many millions of people. And I think you feel that responsibility profoundly. And I think that's what triggers in you an emotion.
It's gratitude.
Yeah. It's an
amazing... You know, imagine someone gave you everything you could possibly imagine. Yeah. And more. Well, that's the situation I'm in.